Hi, this is a short video on how to get a riding lawnmower running after it's been sitting a long time. A buddy of mine sold this to me for a really good price. He basically parked it for 5 years. Just rolled it up into his shed, turned it off, intending to use it again, never did. So these are the common problems that you're going to have. They're common to all mowers, engines, small engines, and I'll talk specifically about this one, but this probably applies to any tractor mower, all right? So the first thing is the battery. Battery is definitely going to be dead, likely need to be replaced, so that's the first thing we'll need to replace. The second thing that'll happen is that your carburetor jets will be clogged. So I'll go ahead and take this off really fast here to show you what that means. So this air filter is obviously new. I had to replace that as well. Oh, you know what? Let me go ahead and unscrew those nuts there. All right, we've got these nuts loose. The first thing I'm going to tell you is to take pictures of everything you have before you take it apart. Okay, so it's not the days of old when I had to do sketch papers and pencil and paper to write down everything. We've got these things called cameras on our phones. We have unlimited memory pretty much. Take a bunch of pictures so you don't have to figure out what you're doing, okay? All right, so we're going to take off the exhaust recirculating tube here. I'm just gonna take this out. Okay, so this is your carburetor. What's gonna almost always happen is the starter solenoid is gonna be locked up. Okay, right here. So when you turn the ignition to on, it's not gonna open up and allow fuel to go into the main jet. The main jet, which is inside here, is likely inside here, usually right underneath or on top of the starter solenoid, will be clogged. The pilot jet on this one is right here. All right, that could be clogged. So you know what the easiest solution to this is? Just get a new carburetor. It costs $35 on Amazon, and it's just they're already pre-built for you, and you don't have to worry about cleaning anything. All right, but if you wanted to, obviously you could take this out. This is not once these nuts are off, this carburetor will come off once you take off the fuel line here and the starter solenoid wire, the ground cable here. You just have to take pictures of the linkages here, right? You'll have to do that anyway, but I would just get a new carburetor. That just makes it easy, honestly. You want to make sure that the fuel pump is working. So once you have a good battery in there, when you turn it to on and try and start it, when you take this line off, you should see the fuel come out of the fuel pump. A couple of tips when you're putting the new carburetor on after you clean this out. If you tend to rebuild it, that's fine. But when you put this back in, one thing that happened was this fuel hose, it wasn't exactly clear that it should go behind this metal plate. It has to go behind this metal plate because, as I found out, if you don't put it behind this plate and keep it in front, the metal plate that you saw I took off, this plate here, it pushes up against it, that line hard enough that it starts to pinch the fuel, and it starves the carburetor of fuel. All right, so put it behind there. I didn't take a picture of it the first time because I thought I didn't need to, but if I had taken a picture, it would have shown that. All right, the other thing that you want to do is change the fuel filter. Okay, change the fuel filter, change the oil. So drain it on the other side. I'll put links to all of this on the other side, or I'm sorry, at the bottom of the video. But you want to change the oil filter, change the oil, I would just change the spark plugs. Don't even worry about it. Make sure they're gapped correctly. You've got one on this side, one on this side. Just change them. All right, all this stuff is going to cost you $50 on Amazon. All right, it's just easier to do it that way rather than rebuild all this stuff. That will take care of the engine, most likely. Should take care of the engine. Now, the other thing that you're going to find is, let me go back here. I'm probably going to have to set up a light. Yeah, I'm going to have to set up a light. But let me set up a light and I'll come. All right, we're back. So the other problem you're going to commonly find, if this thing was put into park for 5 years, then this assembly right here, this is the brake and the clutch assembly. All right, they're one and the same. So if it was put into park, there are, behind this, you can't see it, I'll try and get an angle from another side, but behind this is basically our two pistons which are pushed up against, you know, this to keep it locked, to keep it brake, right? This has to release, and those pistons have to pop off, and the pad has to push off for this to be able to engage and for the wheels to become free. You will find when you parked it for a long time that that will be stuck. And what happens is it will number one, when you put it to freewheel behind, and I'll show you how to do that in a second, but you won't be able to roll it. And even if you're able to get it to roll, that it might not come off enough. A whole assembly might not disengage enough for you to actually put it into gear, even though you got the clutch pushed down. So you'll have to rebuild this component right here. It doesn't take long. I'll put a link to how to do that as well.